spoke with you. After reviewing the film, is there any difference between the reserves, whether Keith Adams is going to earn more playing time or Gideon Davis, anything like that?
No, we like our rotation. I mean, again, Adam's been really good for us. He's dynamic. He brings everything to the table. They all have a little something different. I think Gideon is similar. He's a very dynamic player and getting better every week. Easy is as you saw, he's a downhill, violent player. He's still developing trust in the passing game. So he's still got a little work that he's a redshirt freshman, hadn't played a lot. And then Keith is, he's Keith. He just going, he doesn't run away from the tackles. He runs to them. He likes that, and he brings something different. He's a true finisher guy. He's not a guy that's going to just take off and run away from people, but he's going to punish people. So all those guys bring something to the table, and it's a good group. We don't have Jay, we don't have Jarvis, two really talented players as well. So that's our group. But yeah, nobody's not playing well. They're all doing what we need them to do.
How much was Peter Woods petitioning to get in to score that touchdown?
Yeah, we might need to give him more touches. That maybe that's the next guy. But yeah, it was. Man, it's good to see Peter, get in the end zone, and he's been productive for us. He's a load, 300-something pounder downhill. He's athletic. He's hard to get. He's compact. He's hard to get under, and you need a dirty yard. He's hard to. If you just cover him up a little bit, he's a hard guy to stop. So it's been good. That's been productive for us. And then, the touchdown. That was well blocked. That might have gone 70, if we'd been out in the field. It was really, really well blocked, starting with Blake Miller at the point of attack and all the way down. And Walker Parks did a heck of a job at fullback. And then you got Big 74 rolling around there. So it was just a well-executed play and, fun to see him, get the score.
You mentioned Blake, a lot of talk about Braden, but he had a lot of those highlight plays as well. I know you talked about his consistency, but that had to be a sort of a high watermark for him in terms of execution.
Yeah, I always say when you don't really notice the lineman, good things are happening, It's kind of like your snapper. When you don't notice your snapper or your holder, usually that means they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? You usually only notice linemen when something bad happens. And a lot of times when something bad happens, they get blamed anyway, but it's really not necessarily their fault. But I thought Blake played. He was ACC Player of the Week, him and Peter and Hoosier. Blake was awesome. He played really. He had a couple nice plays in space, getting out on some screens. The big play to Cole, I think that was like a 20-something yard gain. And Lentha comes out there in space. Big Braden's out there covering up a guy. Blake's 15 yards downfield. The one play with Cade over on the right, and Blake just gobbles them up. He had a really, really good game. I was really proud of him.
At right guard with Sewell and Parks, how much of that rotation is Parks kind of ramping up, and just how's that going, would you say?
Both good players, both going to play. They're both starters, so yeah, just maybe somebody gets a hot hand in the game. Walker had the rib, so he was pretty limited in the North Carolina game. Had him ready to play, but glad we were able to hold him, so heal up a little bit more. But those guys are doing good. Just trust them. Trust Walker, and Harris has been a real bright spot for us. I thought he played well too. He played tough. He played physical. So that's just the epitome of who Walker is. Walker's smart. Walker's just, he's one of them guys that something's hurting on his body all the time. And, he's still out there going. It's just kind of who he is and how he's wired. But Harris has been a real bright spot for us, and really proud of what he's been able to do at center too. When we've been able to get him in there, we just have we've had a hard time just kind of having all 7 of those starters available. I don't know how many. There's been very few games we've had all 7, but that's again we're fortunate because we got some guys that can play, and then Ronan O'Connell, I mean, we really like him. He's a physical kid. I don't know if y'all saw that last touchdown drive. I mean, he's got a guy in the back of the end zone, grease balling him, and just, he's just a tough dude, strong. And so, Dietrick got in there, did some good things. So we've got some, Big Moose, Wade got in there. Blanchard is a guy you'll probably see the last 4 games. We're trying to manage his games because he honestly could help us right now. I mean, he could play, but we're just trying to, if we could ever get the 5-year rule, that would change things for us. But we're trying to really manage him so we can, save him as long as we can. So we got 6 games left, and we'll have him available at some point.
Is Elijah been practicing yet, or is just?
No, he's still recovering. He'll be out this week, but hopefully, we'll see what happens. Just where he is once they'll relook at him again once we get into the open date, and then we'll go from there.
How has Christopher Vizzina kind of embraced the opportunity to have more opportunity to run with the first team unit compared
It's
to
been
last year?
good. It's been good because he got it. We gave him a ton of work this spring and a bunch of work in fall camp with the ones. And he really did a nice job. He performed very well in all those opportunities. Some that he knew he was going in, and at other times he didn't know he was going in. We were just like, you're in. And it was different situation. Red zone, short yardage, just different. We're just trying to create that just strain on him and just preparation. And he did a nice job. But as a redshirt freshman last year, he didn't get a lot of opportunity to play. And so it's been good that he's had some just real game time, back-to-back games, to just really get a feel for everything. And just, and that, because it's just going to help him. It's just going to help him get better and better from a game speed, game time, game management, all that stuff, as he gets some experience.
I think Clement talked to us on Saturday night about how this offensive unit discovered the power starts, especially on the road. Just what's been your assessment of how Garrett Riley's been able to script some of these opening drives to get this offense in a better rhythm as of late?
Well, a couple things. We've had field position, and that's been the biggest change over the last 2 games. I mean, we were going into the last 2 games, we were 112th in field position. So, again, it's hard to get in rhythm when you got terrible field position a lot of the time. So that's a big part. We've had good starting field position, and then we just have executed better. And our quarterback's played well. I mean, he's played really well. He's played elite. I mean, quarterback's 92%. You're going to have a good day. And then he was 70-something%, and we've been good on 3rd down, and we've been running the ball efficiently. We were, efficient in the North Carolina game. I felt like there was more there, but we were just explosive, really explosive. And a lot of the run game, too, sometimes it's not run game, but it's run game to us because it's built the screen stuff and built in different thing goes as passing yards, but it's really a part of the run game for us. But I just think we've been able to get in rhythm. That's been the biggest thing we've made plays. We've had very few drops. We've made contested plays. Some of the plays that we didn't make the early part of the year we've made, and the guys are just playing with a lot of confidence. So, I mean, it's like I said, it's a lot easier to get in rhythm when you're playing with good execution and you got good field position to go with it.
Talking about your tough start, you guys could have gone any direction but turned things around in the right direction. What qualities have your players shown to come back strong when things were tough and they could have just folded?
Yeah, just football character and character as people. I mean, our program, like I said, I mean, our program is doing its job. The program is very, very strong here. It's in what the program is set up to do, the purpose of the program, it's thriving. This team has had some football challenges, and you see the character of our guys. They just fight. They get back up and they fight. I mean, a lot of people quit and give up. As soon as something doesn't go their way, it's take their ball and go home, and it's just not the mentality in our building. It's never been that way. I mean, I got the job 17 years ago yesterday. We were 3-3. Had my first team meeting at 4 o'clock on a Monday, October 13th. We were 3-3. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, I got a team meeting, and we're 3-3. You know, and I mean, this team is this. We've always been fighters here, and you know, we've had 17 great years around here. It's been a lot of fun, but it hasn't been without challenge. But the reason we've been successful and so consistent is because we just always kept going. Just stay the course, man. And just handle the adversity. I mean, we've had a ton of it. I know sometimes people think that everything's gone perfect, but it has not. We've had lots of adversity over the years, lots of adversity. But you know, when the seasons have been over, we've had some really, really good seasons and some amazing seasons along the way. But it's your culture, it's character of the people that you're working with every day, our character of our staff. You know, you go on to the next one. I mean, that's just what you learn, you grow, you get better. And so you got two options. You can quit or you can push through. And it's fun when you see a group of young people that choose to make a decision and to, you know what, hey, we're gonna go get better. We're gonna keep battling. And they have the will to fight, you know, and they don't lose faith in what the end of the story can be, you know. So, yeah, I'm proud of them. Leadership's been great, but not surprising at all. I mean, that's who they've been. I mean, you know, that's the frustrating part of this season to this point is this team's done everything right. They've done everything right, but that's football. You know, I mean, the ball doesn't always, and that's the seasons of life too. That's what I say. I look at it every year as a season of its own, and you try to get better. Some teams overachieve, some teams underachieve a little bit, but you know, you count them all up at the end, and you go from there. But when you hit some adversity, and in football you're going to have it, what do you do? How do you respond? Does it get worse, or do you battle back? And these guys have been awesome. I mean, they really have. They've been, you know, together. You see their heart. They care about Clemson. I mean, they love Clemson. Nobody hurts more than these players or staff. And so, again, what do you do? And you know, you get back up and you go again. And so they've had good couple weeks, but every week's a playoff game for us. Every single week, man. It is everything we got. And then we'll get a result, and we got to reload and go again. And then we'll count them all up at the end of the year.
Have y'all been running more two tight end sets this year than the past?
I don't think so.
What does it do for, I guess, the unpredictability of your play calling when you have tight ends who can both block and be threats in the passing game in those personnel groups?
It's good. I mean, it's good. I mean, we've been a kind of a mixture of 11 and 12 personnel, you know, ever since Garrett got here, and you know, we continue to do that. I think, you know, how you present things, regardless of what personnel you're in, is you're always trying to manipulate the defense. You know, so you know, and then you just use your personnel and situations, and you know, what are you trying to accomplish on first down? You know, you can be an all 12 personnel team, or you can be, you know, a combo. And with our personnel, we like our skill, and you know, we like our tight ends. You know, so we try to have a little bit of balance, you know, with both of those, just to where people have to prepare.
What are the particular challenges for Cade and for your skill when you face a sim pressure team about maybe understanding where that seam is, that spot they got to sit down, that's different than maybe the pre-snap read?
Yeah, just film study, first of all, a lot of film study, and to where, you know, it's not the first time you're seeing something on game day, and that's where it starts, just great preparation. And, you know, great work from your scouts and giving the looks. So, you know, you get to game day, you kind of know what you're looking for. I mean, it's not like this is the first game of the year. So there's a lot of tape where, you know, at this point teams have personalities, and now you just got to go execute well. But you got to be disciplined post-snap is the main thing. You just got to be disciplined, know where to have your eyes, understand what our protections are. And, I mean, Cade's got, and CV, they got a great command of that. We've had very few issues where it's just been we're just not on the same page. We might miss a block or we might have somebody miss a guy, but we're just not on the same page, where guys fooling us, so he's done a good job with that.
Any questions for Coach virtually? No. Anybody else in the room?
Yeah, passing defense this year, just overall evaluation. What do you
Getting better. We're moving on up. We're not very good early, but last couple games getting better. We're playing a little more technique, a little better fundamentals, a little better awareness from where we're supposed to be. We did have 2 busts last week at backer. We missed a man call, and then we had an over route that we should have matched. Drop back, and we missed that. But we've been pretty good. We've been a little better getting our hands on some guys and rerouting some guys in our cloud coverage. So that's a big part of some of the pressure we were able to get last week. Just guys doing a little better job on the back end. So we're not what I think we're going to be, but we're heading in the right direction, and we definitely have improved. From the start of the year. So that's been encouraging, and hopefully we can continue that trend.
What a play at that end of the half last weekend. What are the qualities about him that make him such a good holder? And you're 3 for 3 on Sons of being great holders.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Again, it's some of y'all heard me tell it. I mean, it just I don't even know who the coach was, but whoever the middle school coach was at Edwards, 7th grade, I think Will was playing. And, he never helped me. He came home and he's like, hey, I think I'm going to be the holder. He's playing receiver and DB for him. And he's like, I'm going to be the holder too. And I'm like, holder? Y'all kick? I'm like, y'all kick field goals? I had no idea. And he's like, yeah, and I'm the holder. And, they've all got good hands and just that's where it started. And Will was the holder. And when he got to Daniel, they just kept him as the holder, and he was an all-region receiver. He was a good little career, but and then when Drew came along, they're like, "You're the holder." And so by the time Clay came along a few years later, it was the same thing. It all started at Edwards, and then they just carried it on, and it's just it's a craft. I mean, it's something that again, it's one of those things that there's a lot to it, and it's. You don't notice a holder unless it's something bad, and you don't really appreciate one until you don't have one. Same thing with a snapper. You don't appreciate the snapper until you don't have one. They've all done a great job, but Clay's just again, it's a craft. There's a lot to it. It's a lot of timing and precision in what you got to do and where the ball is placed and how the ball is tilted. And sometimes you don't get the laces or you get the laces and you got to spin it. You try to hopefully have the snap to where the laces are always away, and that's a craft too. And Casperson is amazing at that. But, hey, occasionally you have a bad snap and you got to be able to get it down. And so that was a kind of a chaotic situation just definitely a great play by him. And also Nolan's got to trust that, I mean, when your snapper's standing up almost and you're approaching the ball and it's a 50-yard field goal, you got to have a lot of trust with each other that, hey, it's going to be there. And I think Nolan deserves a lot of credit too, because he just kind of stayed the course. He didn't change his approach. He just trusted that, hey, somehow, some way, we're going to get it there and we'll make a kick at it. So it was definitely a great play.
Got a few more minutes with Coach. Anybody have anything?
I know you said T.J. Parker maybe had his best game at UNC. How do you feel like he played against Boston College?
Really good. Really good. It was back-to-back good games, productive, physical, chasing, just disruptive. Was really honestly was really in on one of those sacks. Had a nice TFL backside. I thought he played well, back-to-back.
Anyone else for Coach?
Amari has been playing double-digit snaps the last few weeks. How have you seen him progress?
Yeah, it's just, we're playing a lot of people, and it's good to get those guys opportunity. We got to develop guys. He's an elite talent, and just the more he plays, the better he gets. He practices well. He cares. He's a smart kid, but he's got an unlimited future, unlimited skill set on what he can do. So just needs to play. He's just learning, just from game action. So it's been good. The guy that we need. He's got to be right now a really good depth guy for us with Cape and Peter and Steph Island. Steph Island's doing a lot of good things as well. So I've been pleased with him. But getting Champ had a sack. So it's good to see Heaven got in there. A couple red shirt for us. That's 3 freshmen. Champ and Heaven and Amari, 3 guys that we'll be counting on. Here in the future.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, appreciate it.